Hi everybody, I'm Margaret Lewin and welcome to Margaret Lewin Quilting. Today I'm going to share with you some of my long arm quilting designs. I have a Gamma Statler and it is a computerized long arm, so I can either program it to stitch out certain stitches or I can manually stitch with it. But every month I get patterns from two different designers. One of them is Ann Bright and the other one is Nancy Hackey. I love both of their patterns, but I love them both for really different reasons. Anne tends to be really traditional. Nancy tends to be very, very florally, but also very modern at times. Well, Anne this month really surprised me, and she's got everything in hers. She's got traditional, but yet she's got one pattern in particular that is very modern and really, really cool. So I'm going to be sharing with you my October of 2016 patterns, and I've stitched them all out for you so you can actually see what they look like stitched out. So if you'd like to see them, stay tuned and I'll walk you through every one of them. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to make some boxes, okay? That's plenty big enough. So I'm just going to duplicate this box and I'm going to do it 9 times. Now what that does is that gives me the 9 boxes that I know that I can fit on the long arm for the fabric that's already loaded. I've got the long arm all loaded, fabrics on there, and I know I'm going to be able to do 9 of them. I also know that I'm going to have to resize these and I'm going to have to move them all around, but I've at least done the first step in the fact that I'll have all my boxes on to fit everything into. So that will help me a little bit. So here are my total of 10 boxes because I know I can do 2 rows and I know I can do 5 boxes in each row. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go actually to Anne's layout and see what she's got as edge-to-edge designs this month that have a border that really go with it and that I can, stick all together. Looks like I can do the 2 sounds of winds, I can do the 2 provocatives, and then the other ones I think I'm going to just end up messing around with. So I'm going to start by putting those on my computer screen. These 2 down here that are already here, these are left over from the specials that I did. So I want to get those finished up because I don't have those done yet. I don't have them quilted out. And then that's the corner, this is the border, and here's the edge to edge. And they really are just going right on top of one another, which is fine. That doesn't bother me. And I'm going to line these up. I'm going to turn my end snap on. And I'm going to line this up just a little bit better. All right. And now I'm going to just end snap this in so that it's snapped right to the other one because I want it to be one continuous border. I'm going to escape out of that. I don't like the way this currently looks. I'll draw a box around it because you really can't see what's the edge to edge and what's the border. So I am going to change the size of the edge to edge a little bit. And I'm going to take it down just a little bit so that I can see that there's distinctly a difference between the 2. All right. Now I'm going to grab all the pieces and I'm going to put them in the first box. And then, sorry, I want to get it so you can see it. It's hard enough on a monitor. Then I'm just going to squeeze it down till it fits in there. And it does not look like it's nicely or easily fitting in there. So this is what I'm going to do. We know this is the border. We know that this piece is the edge to edge. And it looks like I just simply have room to bring that down a little bit. I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to take this up here. And I'm actually going to end up having to squeeze that in a little bit. Okay, So I'm going to make that a little bit smaller so that we can see distinctly that one is an edge-to-edge pattern and the other one is just simply a border. Okay, so there's my first one done. I'm going to keep doing that with all of them till I get all of the October seasonal bronze on the screen. Then I'll come back and show you what it looks like just before I start to print it all or stitch it all out. I've got all my pattern pieces up here and you can see, well, I think you can see this red line surrounding it. That's the size of the area that I have to stitch out. So now I'm going to need to play with things a little bit to make this all fit in together. And sometimes it works and other times it doesn't. So I'm just going to mess around with this a little bit and see if there's anything that I can potentially do that will make this have a little bit more space in it so that I can just do it all together on one sheet. So, or one pass or one piece of fabric, only because that's nice when I can do that. So I'm going to mess around with it. When I get them all within this square, I'll come on back and show you what it looks like. I'm really sorry about the reflection because of the fact that it's a monitor, but this is my Gamble Statler and I am not able to actually record on it. I would need different software in order to do it, and I'm one of those that's really good about not putting any additional software on my computer that has to do with my Gamble Statler, only because I don't want to take any chance of any conflicts or anything like that. So anyhow, what I've done is I've totally laid out what is the October of 2016 tradition, or no, this one's called October Four Seasons Bronze. So that gives me everything. I have got my Happy Gifts border, which is right here. I've got my wind up bird border, which is right here. And I love the way it makes an additional heart right there. And you'll see it once it stitches out. I've got my Happy Snowflake border, where'd that go to? Right here. I have my Sounds of Wind border in edge to edge. Let's see what else. I have my Provocative edge to edge and border. And then I have this one and this one that were left over from the specials, which I'll show you those two when I get done. Now, normally I try really hard not to have open areas like this, only because I do use muslin to stitch out my designs, but it's still 200 count, so it's a very high quality muslin, and I have to put batting in it too, so it gets quite expensive to stitch these out every single month, but customers really like to see what it is that they're going to be stitched out. So this is what it is. I'm now going to turn some music on for you, and I'm going to move the camera so that you can watch this thing all stitch out. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to tell it how I want it to stitch out. So I'm just going to go through clicking all of those little arrows in the order that I want it to completely stitch out. And I always want it to do what's inside first and then the outside, only because it really helps with the fabric continuing to lay flat. Every month I get patterns from two different designers. One of them is Ann Bright and the other one is Nancy Hackey. And with those, every single month come these printouts, PDFs that I print out that have all of the patterns. And I've been sharing them with you, and a couple of you had asked to see them stitched out. So I thought this month I'd go over the patterns with you and I would show you the corresponding stitch outs. So this is Ann Bright's, and I got this on October 1st of 2016. So here are my October, and this is the bronze level patterns. So the very first one we can see here is called Happy Gift, and this is a border set. And this is what it looks like all stitched out. Now my computerized machine allows me to make this border smaller or larger. One of the things that I really liked about this border was the fact that this one package could be used. So if I had a specific block that I wanted to stick a package in, I could use this present to put in that border. So this was one that I really liked, and I think I'll get a lot of use out of it. And I also liked the fact that she filled the corner with the ribbon. I thought that was really, really cute and a nice use of that corner. The next one that I have for you is called Wind Up Bird. And here is Wind Up Bird all stitched out. Now again, I missed a thread. This is a border only. So this is the border. Again, she's made a really good use of that extra large corner to do it. So that's Wind Up Bird. I'm not sure what quilt I'll use this one on. The presents I know I'll use a lot. Not certain on this one, but I have a feeling that eventually it will get used. The next one is called Sounds of Wind. And this is also an edge-to-edge pattern. You can see it right down here. So, and I had mislabeled it, so I had to fix that. So this is the Sounds of Wind border, and this is the Sounds of Wind B2B. So what that means when it says B2B or edge-to-edge, it means it's meant to go from one side of the quilt all the way over to the other side. So when you program it, it will automatically calculate how many repeats it needs to be based on the size of the pattern and the size of your quilt. So that is Sounds of Wind, and this is a really nice one. Nice, simple pattern. Our next one is called Happy Snowflake, and this is just a border. And here's our Happy Snowflake border. Very, very nice border stitched out. And it stitched quite well. Things with snowflakes can be very dense or stitch difficult, meaning that they take an abundance of time to stitch out. Our next one is one that I really, really liked. This one is called Fall Melody, and it's always difficult to find a really good leaf pattern, and this is an excellent one. I was very happy to see this. I am going to set this one to my right only because I've got another pattern that I want to show you with this one, but this is a great pattern. I really liked that one. The next one is Dancing Vine, and this one's a really nice one too. Very nice, very simple. You know, doesn't scream boy, doesn't scream girl, which is very nice. The next one is cool. That's this provocative B2B and border. And here it is stitched out. Here is the B2B down here. So you can see there's the pattern. And here is the border. And you can see I've obviously don't have them synced. The border is much larger than the B2B, but I did this to get it on one spot because I wanted it all together. Isn't that cool? This is a really nice one. I can see this one used in a lot of quilts. There's one in particular that's called, the pattern's called Turning 20, and this would be great in there. Another great pattern, doesn't scream boy, girl, but it is a little modern. Okay, so that's all of the October bronze patterns that I got. Now I also subscribe with Ann Bright's Club to the silver. So I get all of the bronze patterns and all of the silver patterns. Next comes those. And these I use more for custom quiltings, and I really love them. But I'm going to go through them because there's quite a bit. Now these are all of the triangles. I put them together on one. And this is again the Silver Club. Here's the quad of the pattern. Triangle quad. Here is the single. I'll move this a little bit so you can see it. There's the single. And here's the double. And this entire special is labeled October Traditional Christmas, and it's silver. Whoops, sorry. Traditional Christmas. So these are very, very nice patterns. A lot of times I will take what is triangles and I will actually turn that into a border by having 2 rows so that they nestle up together and make a really nice border. I do that quite a bit. And I like it because you can do so many different things with triangles. So there's that one. The next one that I have, I've printed it. I stitched 2 of them together. Again, this is the Traditional Christmas. And here is the 8 rectangle. And I really liked the way it gave you this nice center moffet. And then this nice center spot also. Thought that was very nice. Now, I have shrunk this quite a bit. So it could be enlarged on my machine or made even smaller. And then on the other side, I put the 4 rectangle. And what's going to happen with this one, if you were to take 2 of them and put them together, you would get, do I have it? You would get something like this. But you'd have to do some flipping and manipulation and other things. But anyhow, this again is a very, very nice pattern. These I tend to use more for custom quilting than anything else. The next one that I have that was part of that Christmas special, Traditional Christmas, here's your 2-block square, which is a very nice square. This is nice to input into a solid block. So if you've got a quilt that's got a stitched out block and then a solid block, I would put this one, which is more open, in the stitch out block, and then put something like this in the solid block so that the solid blocks have a little bit more of a pattern or dimension to them. So there's that one. Next comes something that I thought was really nice that's part of this group, which was a Traditional Christmas border. And that is a very, very nice border. Very nice border. Could be used a lot, and it could also be used in sashing strips. So, and then there was this motif that also came with it that's considered a bow. Again, another simple, nice pattern to use in custom quilting. This is my last one from this line, and this is the 8W block. And here it is, right? Well, I can fold it in half, actually. There's your 8W block. Then I flip it over. This is your 8T block. And again, I love the way it does this. And what will happen is if you put them together, you'll end up with this in 4 different corners, this spot. So a very, very pretty one. Anne always has, I'm going to move those aside, Anne always has some type of a special every month. And I very rarely, I think I've bought it once or maybe this time is twice. But this time I did buy it only because when I took a look at it, I could see a use in multiple quilts. In fact, I had one that I wanted to put this pattern on right away. So I did buy the special, and I will start with the very first one, which is called Halloween Paisley. And this is called the Seasonal Web Special. Quilted out great, looked fantastic on the Halloween quilt. Just really liked it. I liked the bird, the fact that there was a ghost in there. There's a spider, a cat, a pumpkin, you know, a little bit of everything, which was very, very nice. The next one that I got that's part of this group is called Fall Melody. And look at what it looks like with this gorgeous border. Just really, really looks nice. I like this one, and I really think I'm going to end up using it quite a bit. So there's that one. The next one is called Lost Kitty, and this is also a B2B. So here's the Lost Kitty with a nice spider web and a spider and a kitty cat. The next one is called Texture of Leaves. This one I wasn't thrilled with. I've got to figure out exactly what it is that I want to do with this one. I just wasn't certain, but like I said, there were enough other patterns in there that I knew I was going to use that buying it as a bundle didn't bother me. So it's a nice one. It stitched out great. Just not really certain when I'm going to use it or what I would use it on. So I just have to keep it in mind, and hopefully eventually I'll find a quilt for it. Our next one is called Jack and Friends. And this is a great pumpkin pattern. And the reason why I say it's a great one is it's got a couple of aspects to it that I really like. Number one, it's open. It's not really tight. So you can really manipulate this one nicely. Another thing that I like about it is the jack-o'-lanterns or the pumpkins are scattered so that it doesn't have a lot of direction to it. A difficult thing with a edge-to-edge pattern is if it's directional. So this was another really nice one that I liked. And the last one from this group is called Witch's Closet. And again, I liked this one. It's got gorgeous elements to it. It's got the pumpkin, it's got witch's shoes, it's got a cauldron, it's got the hat, it's got a heart, a spider again, a broom, just really nice pieces to this pattern. So I really liked this one a lot. There was also, as part of this special, another 6 patterns that came with it. And these are all Christmas themed. So I'm going to start with the Christmas Skies, which I thought was a really good one. I love the reindeer. It's a great reindeer. And again, a snowflake, and then some holly leaves with berries in it, and then the moon. So instead of having a cow jump over a moon, I think we've got a deer jumping over the moon. The next one is it's called Traditional Christmas, which I think is really pretty. I like this one, and I'm thinking that, let's see if I can find it here. I'm thinking with this one, sorry for making a mess on you here. I'm thinking with this one, which is called Traditional Christmas, I could take, let me move this around, this border, this triangle, whoops, sorry. I'm thinking I could take this triangle, make that triangle into a border by stacking 2 rows of them, and I would have a really nice pattern with that one. So this one I'm very thrilled with. I think I've got a lot of possibilities with this one. So that one's called Traditional Christmas, and here it is printed, but then you saw it stitched out. This next one is called Happy Birds, and it's okay. You know, if anybody has an Angry Bird fabric, this would be a great one to go with it. And I liked the little peppermint. I thought that was a great stitch out. The next one is called Paisley's for Christmas. And here that one is all stitched out. Nice berries. Those are really nice. And then we have seasonal special. Next we have Happy Snowflake. And again, this is a really nice, simple pattern. It'll get used a lot. And then the last one we have is called Paisley's for Christmas. And here we go again. So, aren't they pretty? I think it's really cool to stitch these things out and see what they look like. What I will do now with these is these will go to a local quilt shop that I get quilts from to quilt, so that they've got examples of the patterns. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you'd like to become a member of Anne's Club, I'll put her website below so that you can get to her. Her patterns can be used on a number of different machines. I just know for certain that she does Statler's because that's what my machine is. And her clubs are really reasonable. I think the Silver Club that I belong to is $25 a month. And then she has the web specials every month like I showed you this month. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. And if you like this video and want to see more, please do give it a thumbs up so that I know that it's something that you like. Thanks so much, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.